Hey, yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? We are live once again. Yeah, this was definitely by demand, this live stream here. You know, I had some people that wanted me to do a continuation of this topic, so here we are again. Hopefully y'all enjoy this one and hopefully everybody been having a good one. I had to set the live stream back a couple of hours because I've been doing a lot of moving into my new place. And you know, it just yeah, I just needed some extra time to do that. Yes, indeed, yes, indeed. But yeah, so I pushed it back a couple of hours so I can have some extra time to get some things out the way. But I still wanted to go live after that because I know I had said that I was going to try to get this continuation out the way before this. Um, I guess within a week's time. That's what I said. So here we go. Um, as we get started and as people start to come in the building, that's if anybody does, given that I rescheduled the live stream a couple of hours back. So we'll see how this goes. Either way, the replay is always great. But but yeah, my thing is overall, I would say that and hopefully it doesn't echo too much because I'm in this new place. You got to put furniture and stuff in there, so it's it's pretty hollow right now. I got this microphone that kind of, I don't know, make it sound a little better. But yeah, with a lot of guys out here, first and foremost, and I might have to repeat some points that I mentioned as people start to get in the building. But first and foremost, yo, don't be low main with your low main. Be like, don't be low man with your low main, but I just say don't be low main with your low main. Hmm. Hey, what's good, brown dude? Good to see you in the building as usual. Oh yeah, yeah, that one with Cool Gent was definitely off the cuff. It was definitely a great live stream, and I couldn't stay long because I had to get some sleep because I was working. So, but yeah, it was lit. It definitely was lit for sure. But yeah, what do I mean by don't be low main with your low main? Well, of course, man, don't be low in your way of thinking with your low main, with your noodle. You know, guys think so low with their noodle, if you will. So it's like you got to get at a different dimension to where you can start to put together a lot of what I'm saying in regards to the conceptual woman. And if you haven't checked that live stream out, go into my playlist titled A Black Knight's Perspective, which reminds me, maybe I should change my avatar. Let's see something. Let me see if I could change my avatar because I got it on her now. Let me see something here. Let me see. What the world? Yeah, I was thinking, man, I could probably change my avatar as we speak right now, but I'm not sure if I can. Oh, you working? Hey, good to see you in the building, though, Rich. Good to see you. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. I'll be doing that all the time, just listening in while I'm working. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, fam, for sure. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for tuning in. Uh, let me see something. Now I'm still talking to y'all. Y'all can still talk to me. I'm trying to let me see something here. It won't let me. Darn it. Okay. Maybe I have to be on a different device to change my avatar. I was going to do the Black Knight avatar, but hey, it's cool. Nevertheless, yeah, go into my playlist, A Black Knight's Perspective, for those listening to this on the replay. And even those in the chat, you know, you'll see the first installment of this live stream titled Conceptual Woman, you know. But see, here's the thing. Just overall, going forth, going forward, if you will, if she's high maintenance, she must be repurposed. If she comes from a background of being high maintenance, that's not going to work with you. Mm-mm. Conceptual woman. What you're conceptualizing, obviously, of someone, what you're trying to conceptualize is someone that is not that much of a high maintenance. You want high quality, low maintenance. So think of a Porsche. A Porsche is very high quality but low maintenance. That's the beauty of most Porsches. Now, you'll get some that end up high maintenance just because you have some owners who they barely drive the cars. The Porsches were meant to be driven. Drive them. You know, like they would say in London, they would be like, drive the blooded bastard, drive the blooded bastard. You know, you want to drive the car, you know, so that's why a lot of Porsches they end up breaking down because you know you got a lot of these Hasidity uh type of rich folk and they don't want to drive their cars around all the time, you know. Or if they drive it, they want to do burnouts and they want to hit the throttle, let the back exhaust flame out. You're destroying your engine whether you drive it too much, whether you rev it too much, if you will. They don't even drive the cars; they just rev them. You know, you either revving your car too much or you having it sit for too long. That's how you destroy your car, especially a high-end car like a Porsche or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something. But yeah, getting back to if she's high maintenance, no, that's not going to work with you, fellas. Don't let that be her way of thinking, her way of talking. And I'm not necessarily giving y'all advice. I'm just saying from my perspective. I wouldn't want a chick around me like that. You know, my idea of this idea of a conceptual woman is where if I'm just talking to her initially, I'm gonna be like, well, you know, my thing is, you know, for me, it doesn't work to have a feminine gender around me that is high maintenance, you know, because that's just gonna be more turmoil for me. That's more of a stress for me. That's more labor for me. That's more costly for me. And we don't trick over here. We don't trick. So we ain't trying to have things be too costly. Now it's going to cost you something, but it doesn't mean you're tricking for it. When it gets costly and you still trying to put out for it, now you're tricking. Don't do that. Some things aren't worth it. You pay more on something than what it's worth. Is she even worth that much? She's probably not, especially if she's claiming that she's high maintenance. She must be repurposed to where she's not as costly around you. Okay. She must go through a conversion, which isn't the same as converting. You know, a conversion and converting are two different things. You know, a lot of people they get the two mixed up. You know, because we hear these things out here, like for example, like my thing is you'll have, you know, a lot of gals that have been through a lot of things with a lot of guys, and so they'll be like, no, you're not going to try to change my mind. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. You know, uh, but it's all about out with the old and in with the new. You know, a conversion is just changing something from one thing to another. You know, you think about a conversion, but a converting is it's a little different. It's not the same thing. You know, converting and conversion are not the same thing. You know, uh, the convert is to cause something to change. You see, that's the difference. Conversion is to change something, and convert is to cause something to change. So let next time y'all be around somebody, let them know, hey, don't misconstrue the two. Once again, conversion is changing something, and converting is causing something to change. But nevertheless, it's inevitable, especially if you're repurposing her. That yeah, especially when you're repurposing her, that's going to require some change. Change for the better, sweetie. Change for the better. Keep that in mind. Let him be the better thing that causes you to want to change. Yes. So it's reciprocal in that regard. Hey, what's good, Emma? Good to see you in the building once again, sweetie. You said Brown do life. Be on your purpose for high maintenance women. Yeah. Yeah, that gets me, man. You got all these dudes talking about be on your purpose. And then they talking about high value, but you're only getting around a chick that's high maintenance. Man. All in a nutshell, right? All in a nutshell. Just saying. I and do I sound echoey to y'all? Put a one in the chat. If I actually no, if I don't sound echoey, put a one in the chat. If I sound echoey, put a two in the chat. There ain't much I can do about it, but I'm just kind of curious of the audio feedback. Given that I gotta get all kind of stuff put in this place. At least in one of my rooms, I gotta make like gotta make it echo proof. Uh, gotta put some sound effect things on there. Like stuff to not make it bounce off the walls, if you will. The sound. But let me keep going. Oh, they say that. Oh, y'all said I don't sound echoey. Okay, cool, 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 cool. You said Emma. You said it. Ray J. ICE is due to go live in 20 minutes. I was confused by that. Why go live the same time? Well, he probably didn't know about my notification. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of, we kind of just free flow. Whatever he do. Whatever I do, I do. But we always check each other's playbacks or replays. But hey, double. You can get some double headers. So yeah, you could check me out, then go check him out, then come back and check me out. Either way, or just check out the replay, depending on where you want to stay. And I didn't mean to rhyme. Now we're gonna keep going here. But see, yeah, check this out. Because we're gonna talk more about this conversion. Yeah, this converting. Once again, conversion is the change. Converting is causing something to change. That's important in regards to a conceptual woman, what you're conceptualizing about her. Now, it is important that, fellas, don't have things too conceptualized. And ladies, keep that in mind too. Let's be realistic. There's things, she knows that she needs to work on, and she just wants a man that understands that. But as long as she is willing, we dealing, if you will. If she's willing, hey, that's cool. It's just sad that when you get around a chick and you think that she ain't doing things for you that you would like, but then you find out she around someone else and she doing everything that guy wants her to do. Now, you got all this toxicity out here, and you got people saying, well, that's because he's an alpha and you weren't really that alpha type. So that's why she didn't put out for you. Nah, man, you know what? We're not going to go there with that toxic rhetoric. She likes what she likes, even if it's not good for her. If you were good to her, but she didn't like you like that, to want to go through that converting to conversion, you were just probably too good for her. And that's probably not a bad thing, actually. That's not a bad thing. It ain't got nothing to do with the guy being more alpha than you. Okay, so let's not go there with that. At least not here at this channel. Hey, what's up, Wadner? Hey, what's good, fam? What's good? I think I put a wrench on you. I probably got to get you too eventually, Big Rich. I ain't forgot about you. I think I got you a wrench, Wadner. Yeah, man. All right. Let's keep it moving though. But yeah, for this, she must be fit for the conversion. So that's the other thing, in regards to this conceptual woman. See, a lot of times, you get into these conversations, fellas and ladies, because basically what I'm saying about what a guy has to do amongst a gal, this is what you want a man to be like amongst you ladies. Like if he's not talking about how he wants you to change for the better, which there's nothing wrong with that, especially if he's been a decent man to you. You know what I'm saying? If he's being a decent man to you, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But if he's not talking that way, then obviously he's not a decent man towards you. He wants you to change for the better. If meaning that if he's not talking to you about changing for the better, if he's not talking to you about changing for the better, he's not a decent guy for you. Blah, blah, blah. Kind of tongue tied. It's been a long day, all this moving I've been doing. But yeah, she must be fit for the conversion. It makes me think about they talk about, like, even in regards to because everything's all connected. Like some airplanes, when you got to convert them from a passenger plane to a cargo plane, these planes have to be fit for the conversion. They have to be fit. They have to have the right airframe. They can't be too worn out internally or externally. because there are going to be new parts added to the plane. It's going to have a heavier hull, heavier reinforcements. It's going to have stronger engines. It's just going to have to be ripped from the inside out of all of its wiring, avionics, to be having new things put within it in order for it to be suited as a cargo plane versus passenger plane. So it's being repurposed, but it had to be fit for that purpose. If it's not fit for that purpose, guess what? Scrapyard. So there you go. Same for her. I'm not saying she gonna be on the scrapyard, but she gonna be probably going back to the streets, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's what happens. If she's not fit for the purpose, that's why she ends up out in the streets. See, you everybody talking about, oh, she's for the streets. She's going back to the streets. Well, how did she end up back out to the streets? No one's talking about that. She wasn't fit. See, it ain't just about you not having what it takes to have her around. No, she didn't have what it takes to be around you. See, we got to change some of the narratives out here. Okay. Now, one way of this converting to conversion, repurposing her voice. Think about her voice. Think about the fact that her voice needs to be more pleasant around you. Ladies, have a more pleasant voice around him, especially if his voice is very pleasant around you just because of his aura, his masculinity. Be in your femininity. Have your voice be more pleasant around him when he comes around you. That says a lot. That arouses him. That gives him a better day. Even if he had the crappiest day ever, just the pleasant of your voice, the pleasantries of your voice says a whole lot. So repurpose her voice. I don't care if her voice is raspy. She better know how to talk even with a raspy voice. I don't care if she smoked 1,000 cigarettes and she stopped smoking a month ago. She better repurpose that voice. She better sound like some of them old soul singers. I'm trying to think of a few of them off the top of my head. But no, even if she, has a raspy voice, she better sound very nice with it. She's got to be nice to you. There's no other way. Because this is what needs to be conceptualized before it is actually realized. Hey, long time no see, Charlotte Swine. Always good to see you in the building. Hey, what's good, Polo? Salute, fam. Salute. All right. Now, repurposing her voice, just like the exhaust note on a car. You want that car to sound good, right? So you want her to sound good in all her ways, in all her doings, and all of her talkings. Yes, in all her ways, all her doings, and all her talkings. And, so this also comes with this idea that, me personally, and I'm just talking about me personally, I don't want her cussing like a sailor. You cuss like that around everybody else. You don't need to cuss like that around me. Okay. And I don't care what you do when you're not around me, but around me, you don't need to cuss. Let's talk in a different language. As a matter of fact, when you go over to Japan, you talk Japanese. I was going to say something else. I actually accidentally almost made up a new word. I was going to say Japanese. Hey, that needs to be a new word though for all these fake wannabe Macks. I call them Jacks, and they speak Japanese. You're supposed to be Macking and speaking Maccanese, but you're speaking Japanese. Hey, but we're gonna keep it moving though. But yeah, when you're over there in a different country, you're gonna be speaking their language. So, sweetie, when you're around me, you got to be speaking our language. You see, I don't want you cussing like a sailor around me. I want you to have a pleasant voice, and I want your language to be very pleasant, just like the sound of that exhaust. When you put that new exhaust on your car, just to have it sound good, and it just sounds so much better. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something about that pipe. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. The exhaust pipe, the way that sounds, okay? But yeah, you make her the way you want her to be, fellas. Now, what I mean by make, I don't mean force. I mean fabrication. Yes, that's what I mean by make. Make her the way you want her to be by fabrication, not force. And so this is all up to the imagination, meaning that she wants to be that for you. She actually emphasizes that. She's like, I want you to be happy, babe. I want you to be happy. I want you to know that I really want to show you like my love to the best of my ability. And if there's things I need to learn or I want to try to do better, I will want to do that for you. Like, so there you go, the fabrication part, the fabrics, new fabrics, new textiles, new garments. Yes. So even, getting her to even dress different, but in a good way. You want her to dress more royally, more lavishly, eat better, she learns about herbs and spices, different drinks, more of the good stuff, not that bar stool stuff, just trying to take a fifth of the Henny. No, we going upscale, baby. You ain't got to really sip on that. That's going to give you too much of a hangover anyway. Just little stuff like that. This conceptualizing of a woman is very unpopular because it is a concept. A concept is something, it's like a one of one of that concept. It's a one of one. Keep that in mind, the word one of one. The best concepts weren't about pleasing everybody. It ain't about you pleasing everybody no more, sweetie. It's just about you pleasing me right now. That concept is a very singular, very linear kind of a craftsmanship, imagination. And what I mean by this is like, a lot of concepts that failed were the concepts, especially of cars, where they try to have all these gizmos and gadgets to please the populace. Whereas if it was something that was more niche based, something more specific versus general, usually that car stood out and lasted longer as it became more produced and it became more of a prototype. And so, ladies, don't get in this habit of trying to please everybody. You need to be around a certain man that there are specific things he likes, and that's what you're good at making sure is always the case. And keep it that way. Don't be so quick to leave him, and then you think you're gonna get that with somebody else when you're not. Okay, and then you wonder why it's not working because you thought you could continue on with these concepts with everybody else when you weren't made to please everyone like that. Literally, you're biologically not made to please everyone like that. Once again, keep in mind the word one of one. Let's see what people saying in the chat thus far. Oh, you said Brown Do Life. He said Scamanese. Hey, yeah. And then you also said fraudinese. Oh yeah, that too. Facts. Yeah. That's what we seeing going on out here. Yeah, all this another language like Korean, Phoenician. That's a new language. Phoenician. There you go. But yeah, I previously mentioned that one can argue that most females are either concepts or stillborn prototypes. Most of them never become production based or become twilights. But what do they become besides twilights, if one may ask then? I'll talk about that down the road. Stay tuned. But yeah, there's something to this effect of what does she become if she doesn't necessarily become a twilight? Makes you wonder. We're going to talk about that down the road. But yeah, there was this thing about Tupac. He said in one of his songs, he said, fuck a bitch because a real sister love niggas. And what he meant by that was, in regards to, we think about the spectrum and kind of similar to my female woman logic. A real woman loves a man. A real woman loves a real man. So that's technically kind of what Tupac meant by he said, fuck a bitch because a real sister love niggas. He really was saying, fuck a bitch because a real woman loves a real man. And that's what it should be all about. It should be all about that man woman instead of male female. But people they don't understand these things, and that's why a lot of people's talking points out here are elementary. And I've been in all the different sectors. This is not just a bashing of the black sector or nothing. I've seen this in all sectors because these are everybody's problems, and I mean that. Let's see what Emma said. You said random question. You said what is your reasoning for only giving men wrenches on your channel? Is it to emphasize masculinity or something? Yes, indeed. Yep. It's to emphasize masculinity. This is a masculine space. that welcomes the feminine. Now, this is not a male space because you hear that out here in these spaces, whether it's red pill or MGTOW, you hear male space. I don't say male space. I say the masculine space. So there needs to be a masculine presence. Needs to be masculine uh, moderators here. Okay, I don't really, me here personally, I don't have this concept of a feminine moderator. I don't, I just, for me, that's an oxymoron, but I'm just only speaking for me. I think when the feminine comes to this masculine space, yes, when the feminine comes to this masculine space, it's about her being feminine, not masculine, you know, but that's food for thought. Uh, let me see. Anybody say something else? Okay, never mind. Looks like everybody just chopping it up with each other. Okay, but I also mentioned this, and I was going to elaborate more on this because it has a lot to do with the conceptual woman. This idea of a keyless entry, okay? Because this is what most men should be trying to conceptualize in the first place. You know, you're thinking about your key. The key enters the lock. Of course, physically speaking, this means your phallus enters the womb, your penis enters the vagina. But that ain't how you're going to tap into her chakras. That is not how you're going to tap into every part of who she is in her feminine essence. That is going to happen in a non-physical way. The way you enter her is a non-physical way. It's a way without a key. You enter her keyless, the keyless entry. You know, it's about this idea that, you know, you have to the way you talk about this in the conceptualizing stages, if you will, is just trying to get her on a level where she could be intimate with you in all ways, not just physical, in ways of empathy. Because you got guys out here now, I kid you not, they don't think a lot of the feminine gender, it has empathy, you know? Um, but how can you say that and they are 80% emotional based on the yin and the yang? They're 80% emotional. So they have empathy. It just has to be brought out of them again, if you will. It has to be reminded. I think it's been a generational curse in regards to the feminine not knowing about how to tap into their emotions. They feel their emotions. They definitely do, but they don't understand their emotions because they haven't been taught mostly about what these emotions entail and how you're supposed to deal with that. See, a lot of ladies go most of their lives dealing with their emotions, especially if they end up having children. You know, some get postpartum depression. They can't explain the emotions of having a child, you know, especially if she's had miscarriages, things like that. So there's a lot to say about these things. But so my thing is, for example, and I'm just kind of, instead of talking in the chat on some of my videos, a lot of times it's just best I reply in a live stream. So there was this guy, he commented on one of my previous videos about female nature 101. I think it was the one that was titled Her Lack of Empathy. And so he commented, he said, women don't have empathy. They can just sense our emotions more than men can. Now, that sort of sounds like a misnomer, if you ask me. It just doesn't make sense because they have emotion. They do feel it. But oftentimes, they don't understand what they actually feel because they haven't been taught what they should understand. You know, it's just like a lot of guys haven't been taught how to really be men, how to be logical. There are a lot of things you do that make sense, but you didn't realize at that time that actually made sense what you thought, you know? So a lot of this, hold up, let's see what Emma said. You said, damn, someone just thumbs down SMH. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's great. I love it. Actually, the thumbs down helped too. Oh, yeah. You said, Polo, knowing the vocabulary of all emotions increases emotional intelligence. Facts, facts. So that's why it gets me when, you know, you'll have a guy like this one that commented and he says things like women don't have empathy. They just sense our emotions more than men can. See, if they are 80% emotional with the feminine, they not only have emotion, they also have empathy. So my thing about female nature is not about a woman, it's about a female. Real woman embody all of the emotion and the empathy, you know? Even if that took time for her to realize based on whatever journey she took in her life. It's these females, not these women, that don't have the empathy, you know. But yeah, when the guy said women don't have empathy, no, women have empathy. The females don't have empathy. And then when he said they can just sense our emotions more than men can, well, yeah, I mean that's true, you know. And the real woman resonates that with her reciprocation. A female tries to be cold and callous and use that against you. See, keep that in mind. You see. So let's keep going with this. Yeah. So there was another comment a guy left that can tie with that ties in with this live stream, because you know I like to address certain things, because what I'm realizing now is, okay, in light of what took place with Derek Jackson, see, that's what I'm saying. Listen to me and be patient. I'll surprise you, because you didn't think I would have mentioned Derek Jackson. See, I'm not going to do a live stream or a video about Derek Jackson, but I could just mention it slightly here. You feel me? I've never been the type to like really watch his content, but not to say that I have anything against him either. But I've been knowing of Derek Jackson. But here's the thing. My point is, you got now this idea that, oh, Derek Jackson, he's the biggest simp, and look at him, he got caught for cheating. You know, so they want to speak out against the simps. Yet these are the same guys that hate women. So you're no better than Derek Jackson. That's the simp, right? Okay. You're a woman hater versus him being a simp. Two wrongs don't make a right. So you have one guy that says this in one of my videos that I just did about when she's all used up. Uh, this guy, he said, too many of them are used up. So why bother? And I'm like, okay, so you've given up, basically. You've given up. Okay. That's a lot of that going on. A lot of guys are giving up. Okay. And so my thing is, and I'll probably mention this from time to time in live streams to come, and this is something you're never going to hear from anybody else. At least you haven't heard it yet. And if you heard it after, if you hear this, what I'm about to say after me, you know where they got it from. So I just said this guy sounds like he's giving up because he said too many of them, these females, are used up like that. So why bother? Here's what I'm about to say. Strap on your seatbelts. When you give up, guys, when you give up on femininity, you also give up on masculinity. There you go. When you give up on femininity, you also give up on your masculinity. Okay. So, because it's tied in with your inner feminine, if nothing else, because you can't give up on yourself, the inner feminine. So yeah, when you give up on that femininity, even if it's the outer feminine, you're giving up on yourself via your inner feminine, but that embodies your masculine as well. Like this is like kind of what I'm saying is it's going to go over people's heads for some time, but that's fine. But that's what we see in a lot of guys doing, because don't y'all just see the results of that? You see a lot of guys who claim they've given up on women, and you seeing how they're becoming. They're becoming very depressed. I don't want to be that depressed, and I've been through a lot of things with a lot of females. Trust me, but that's when I didn't know the difference between a female and a woman. I know now, so I know better now. Okay, so there's a difference. So I mean, my thing is, it's like even if the truth was in their face of what I was even saying, these guys will still be denialists. You know, that's what we're seeing going on. You know, a lot of people just don't want to move forward with the fact that change is on the way, but the change starts with you. You know, but if people haven't been around people who speak on positivity and speaking on the way forward, you're not going to think that way. You're going to be around other people who think just like you. But over here, we take the white pill, which ain't no medication. Nah, it ain't no medication. It ain't no vitamin. Okay, once again, we won't take medicines. We don't take vitamins. We take hallucinogens. That's what we do over here with this idea of the white pill. Because you got to think like with faith, because that's what the white pill is. It's faith. It's going to have you hallucinating. It's going to have you thinking very outlandish. It's going to have you thinking of things you never thought you would think of before. You know, just as it says in the word, he'll give you exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask for or think. If you ask me, that's very hallucinogenic. I'm like, whoa, this is very psychedelic. Really, let me think of the wildest thing that I could ever want the creator to do for me. And he can do 10 times that much, 100 times, 1,000 times that much. Okay. So what I try to speak on over here in regards to how I represent the white pill, as you see in the hashtag of this live stream, why not conceptualize a woman to be that same way? Even if it might seem unrealistic, they call this an unrealistic expectation. Well, that's why this is called conceptualizing a woman. Okay, we'll work some things out. We'll make a few tweaks there based on realistic things that can be obtained at that time. We'll make some adjustments, but there is a way forward. There's no ideal woman. Okay, you have to make that ideal woman how you want her to be for you, fellas. I mean, it's no different when you go on a Subway. There's a certain sandwich you like, but you want certain things on your sandwich. That's no different with the woman. You're literally conceptualizing the Subway sandwich. You got to conceptualize the woman to be the same way. That's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of, it's your world. It's what you make of it, man. It's what you mac of it, if you know where I'm coming from with that. Now with these internet females, they're just virtual. A lot of these females you haven't met in person, and I'm not speaking out against anybody in the chat or anybody listening to this on the replay. I'm talking about you got the females out here who claim they want a relationship. They claim they understand about womanhood, but you never get a chance to really meet them in person. You never really get a chance to see that in their own life and in the way they present videos and, footage. You don't see them having a man in their life. So most of these females out here are very virtual. They're not even conceptual. One can argue that they are also augmented, hence why they argue. Yes, the augmented makes them argue, okay? Because they really kind of want you to be fixated on what they think reality is. They're augmented reality. They're not even, there's nothing to conceptualize about things that are augmented a certain way, so that's what you have to also, I guess, get from out of what I'm saying too. Some things will be remained as virtual. You can't even sketch it out. You can't even sculpt it out like with clay. It's just left to be on the internet. Now you think about designers. A lot of them are new school. They don't sculpt with clay. They don't draw on paper. They do it all via computer now. You can conceptualize things on the computer. But I found out that the best designers, they don't like them computers. They want to still draw. They want to still sculpt with clay. I went to an art school and then I dropped out of that art school because why? I'm realizing that all the students that I was in class with, none of them knew how to draw. I was the only one in there that knew how to draw. Everybody else in there did everything on that computer drafting. At first, I was intimidated because I was like, dang, I want to do that computer drafting too, that virtual, But once I realized none of them could draw, I'm like, oh, man, let me get out of this school, man. Now, I still want to learn how to do some computer drafting just on the side, but it's like, I still can draw, though. I'm bananas. Let's see this. The beef. Okay, you talking about the beef, Emma. Hold up. between, okay, I won't really quote names necessarily, but I see what you mean about the beef. No, I did not see the beef, but it doesn't surprise me given who you said it is. Wow. Oh, someone new in the building. Black Ken. Good to see you here for the first time. You said look at what they do. Everything they say seems to be filtered to PC and social acceptance. That's why most of them say the same things in real life and on the internet. Yeah, that augmented reality. You know, a bunch of rappers have done that too. I won't really go over who, but I think y'all kind of know who the studio gangsters are that we think are really about that life in real life until they get seen, if you will. They get caught in traffic lacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of chicks that do that too. You know, you got chicks selling wolf tickets to chicks. You know what I'm saying? You know, on that city girl vibe. You know, a dude got to have a certain amount of bands in order to make her pussy pop. You know, and chicks going for that because they like, yo, you see me on these virtual spaces like OnlyFans. I might come fly out to see you, but I might not. But if you spin on me, I might at least show you something. It's sad, but it is what it is. But you just got to avoid that because it's about conceptualizing. You got to touch clay. You got to touch the paper. It's very hard to touch the computer to draft something. All it's going to be is just riffraff. You know, you want to sculpt something, fellas. You want to repurpose, to fabricate versus force. You want to, that requires a physical touch, something very intimate. You know, so we got to get back to that, regardless of the sign of the times that we're living in. It requires the touch. It requires the intimacy. Part of this conceptualizing of a woman, it's going to require intimacy. That has to be brought up first and foremost. You know, like, what are we talking for if there's not going to be a sense of intimacy? I'm not saying I'm gonna have sex with you on the first night, sweetie. But what I am saying is, I want you to get used to me holding you, me looking at you. You never had that. You probably only had a guy screw you. You know, he didn't love you. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm just literally talking about trying to sculpt you, trying to hold you, trying to look at you, trying to conceptualize things about you, how I want you to be beautiful around me. You haven't had it like that before. Okay. I'm looking more into your dynamic, how you can be dynamic around me a certain way. So this brings up this other thing that I talk about a lot, you know, masculine principles versus feminine dynamics. Now, I know some people say feminine principles, and I get that there is an element to that which isn't gender based, but I don't say feminine principles for that same reason, ironically, because we know that there's a female out here that's not a real woman. She's going to take that idea of feminine principles and thinking that she has similar principles to the masculine when that's not what it's about. So that's why I like to make the distinction: masculine principles versus feminine dynamics. And not that it's even a comparison or competition, more so composition, if you want to think about it that way. Yeah, not really a competition, but composition. By the way, let not your conversations with her end up in confrontations. Yes, don't let your conversations end up being confrontations, because that seems to be kind of the norm these days, you know. But yeah, it kind of goes back to, like I said, I'm here to give y'all the recipe, not the game. So when I talk about these compositions, you know, and I'm thinking about this, like with what composition is, it's like the nature of something, the ingredients, or uh, you know, the what embodies it, like the mixture of it, you know. So this dynamic thing that I'm talking about definitely has a recipe in it of its own, like kind of how I'm adding some spice. Like, don't the ladies say this sometimes? Around him, it's like he adds the extra spice to my life. He's adding the extra spice to my life, right? So there you go. That's all based on that conceptualizing, based on these feminine dynamics. Like I said, I don't say feminine principles. I say feminine dynamics. That even sounds feminine, you know? But see, together, you with her, your masculine principles with her feminine dynamics, you become the dynamic duo. Yes, you become the dynamic duo. Now, if y'all start beefing, like what Emma said earlier, you don't become the dynamic duo. Y'all now got a dynamic dual, more like dynamite. Yeah, you both have dynamite trying to throw it at each other. You see, but that's not what we're trying to do over here. We're trying to guide her in the right way. You know, said Black Ken, you said thank you. Last videos I saw of yours was Sigma Identity Crisis and Prototype Woman on the replays. Very, very deep stuff. Oh, I appreciate that, fam. Right on. I know with the Sigma Identity Crisis, there was that glitch, but I'm glad that you sat through that. I gotta still edit that video to get the glitches out, but I appreciate you even checking out that video, in particular, the Sigma Identity Crisis. You know, but yeah, man, I appreciate your feedback overall. You know, it's just, you know, what the creator has given me to share out here to the world is definitely divine. I mean, I'm not out here reading books and researching. It's just what he speaks to me. I put it out there, man, and it's a blessing to see y'all blessed, and I'm blessed just seeing that y'all, you know, like what Black Ken said, it's deep. You know, I appreciate that, fam. I really do. Um, Now, to keep going with this, right? Her dynamics, her dynamics. It's about your principles with her dynamics. You know, remember, she's chaos, you're order. So you're ordering, you're putting her chaos in order. You know what I'm saying? You're putting her in order. You're controlling her chaos, but not in a bad sense of control. You know, you're the pilot and she's the airplane. You're controlling her avionics. You're keeping her in the air properly. Let's say she's a sports car. You're keeping her on the ground properly. You're making sure that she doesn't crash. What happens? She gets around the wrong guys. What does she say? You know, he driving me crazy. He's driving me crazy. So you mean to tell me you were around the right guy who had masculine principles to be able to deal with your feminine dynamics the right way? He knew how to drive you, baby, but you got around another guy. He drove you crazy. Okay. So she hit the wall. He made her hit the wall. He drove her so crazy that she ended up being driven into the wall. She hit the wall. She hit the wall due to misguidance. See, there's that part. Misguidance. See, because that's what happens when he drives you crazy and you hit the wall. Obviously, that was a misguide. How come you couldn't stay on the road? How come this guy that you had around didn't help you to stay on the road? You're not supposed to get around a guy that's going to misguide you, drive you crazy. Oh, it was fun. It was exciting. It was exhilarating. Screeching of the tires, driving at over 170 miles an hour, engine revving, music blasting, horn is honking. You know what I'm saying? Lights on, flashing. You know, you just showing off for the town. But he drove you crazy. All that was just to drive you crazy. All of that was misguidance. All that drove you crazy into the wall. Misguidance. Like what Ice said, you know, Ice Turner said, guidance over gain. Now, I want to take that a step further, you know, because I heard somebody else say this, you know, and it was like dope. I was like, let me expand upon that. Because, you know, for her to be guided, she has to be guidable. Yes, guide able. Now, I'm going to take it a step further than what they said. God able. Not just guide able. She needs to be God able. Okay. I'll explain more of that later. So, her having misguidance, she had a misgod. She missed God. You see, a lot of them miss God. Then they miss God when it's almost over with, when some of them are on their deathbed. Yeah, when some of them are on their deathbeds, they're like, I missed God, misguide. See? Players misguided her. Max guide her. That's a side note. Others profit off of her. Others overspend on her. Notice, I didn't say spend. You know, they say it ain't tricking if you got it. For me, it ain't tricking if you know what you're doing with it. Overspending, that's the tricking, okay? It's going to cost you something. Just don't let it be costly. You know, if something is worth it, it really doesn't cost you anything. It's valuable to you. There's a difference, you know, but there is a difference between tricking and simping. They are not the same people. Tricking and simping are not the same people. Now, this still ties in with a conceptual woman, because how are you guiding her? How are you talking her into this conceptualization in order to be realization? You know, it might sound good on paper, okay, what you're conceptualizing, but how are you making that practical? How are you making these things very realistic for her? It's sad that she'll be around a lot of males that sell her a dream versus being around a man that can offer her reality. Hey, what's good, Farhaya? Good to see you once again, sweetie. Yep, you're right. Listening to wise direction for sure. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You already know. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's what we're gonna do over here. We moving good over here. That's what we try to do. You know, this idea of the conceptual woman. And by the way, for those who did not listen to the first installment, y'all know where to go check it out in the playlist titled A Black Knight's Perspective. And just as once again, an overview for those who see the thumbnail and misunderstood the thumbnail, hence someone gave me a dislike, if you will. Uh, what you see in that thumbnail is not a conceptual woman. What you see in that thumbnail is a female trying to carve herself, chisel herself out to be a woman. A woman is not chiseled. Women are molded. Men are chiseled. Once again, men are molded. Oh, let me repeat that. Ooh, had to rewind that. DJ. Women are molded. Men are chiseled. Okay. So what you have is this female that's not a woman trying to chisel herself. Not only is she being chiseled, she's trying to chisel herself. Yes, what you see in a thumbnail is not a conceptual woman, but you do see these females that aren't women that are trying to make themselves out to be the type of woman they think they're supposed to be, or what they define as a woman. We see this all the time. Do we not see this? Okay. And in that previous live stream, I've talked a little bit about how that's the case. Y'all have to check out that previous live stream if you haven't already. But let's keep going with some things I can move forth with now. You know, you got a lot of these females that aren't women. They talking about killing the game with beauty, but that's part of their game. See, a man makes her beautiful. She might have beauty, but a man makes her beautiful. Beauty is a feminine word. Beauty is a feminine word. Beautiful is a masculine word. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. But they try to use their beauty to kill the game. But see, a man wants a woman that ain't about using her beauty to kill the game, because she ain't trying to be part of the game. She wants her beauty to be amongst a man that loves her, and that's what makes her beautiful. Goes back to my live streams where I talked about game versus love. If she's using her beauty to kill the game, she'll never understand the man that wants to make her beauty beautiful with his love. She'll never even care about that, actually. She'll never even care about that. Okay. You said this for hire. You said a man will appear when you're ready or on your journey. See, that is an interesting quote for hire. See, um, see, a lot of I think it's so backwards in this society because if it was like the way it is in a lot of non-Western places, the man will just present himself before the family. You know, uh, we have all these run-ins with each other in these Western societies, to where now it's about the fact that the feminine gender has to have this self journey or has to be ready, when really, like, if she was raised up a certain way, it wouldn't even matter. So I guess what I can say is, depending on her spiritual level, she'll already be ready and her journey would have already started. So I guess just the time with what you're saying for hire, that's the way she's ready. And that's when she's on her journey, is when she's getting in tune spiritual. That's it. It's not going to be based on the money. It's not going to be based on the type of job, type of car, type of degree from school, college. It's not going to be that. It's going to be her spirituality, because she's going to be tuned with her feminine and is going to desire the masculine. Spirituality is not really being taught in this day and age. You're learning about cults, you're learning about religion, but you're not really learning about spirituality. Spirituality is very universal and international. You said, Black Ken, it ain't tricking if you know what you're doing. Heard it here first. I was a little conflicted, but I see the light now. Right on. Right on, fam. I speak everything from an inverted perspective, so keep that in mind. That's kind of the hallmarks and the signatures of my type of content here at my channel. Everything I speak on is inverted. Let's keep it moving. Let's see what everybody else been saying in the chat. Yep, exactly. Exactly, for hire. I found it weird chasing men, not my style. You're not made to chase. Heck, even the female lion not made to chase. They might do it for their pride temporarily, but that male lion is going to really help them take down that wildebeest. They need him. Okay, they can only do it like that for so long, because they want to really talk aggression. Even the female lion can only hunt for so long by herself. We ain't gonna even talk about the hyenas. We ain't gonna even go there with them hyenas. We ain't gonna even go there. We ain't gonna go there. But yeah, you're right. You're right, for hire. You're right. You're so right. Yeah, women are not made to chase. What you do is you come into the existence of a man, kind of similar to the scripture. What happened is you'll meet a man of a certain way, of the way he's been masculine and the way he talks to you, the way he's pleasant. That's going to open up a lot of your estrogen. Your estrogen is going to react to his testosterone. And if he's sending off a good vibe, it's just going to be instant. There ain't gonna be no game required. There ain't gonna be none of that. It's just gonna be like, wow, I'm really feeling you. Like, yo, you start blushing and all that stuff. You said, Emma, is it appropriate for a woman to code approach, by the way? Oh yeah, yeah. I actually think it's a turn on. It's a turn on, because you're trying to be you wanting to be attached to him, So it's definitely a turn on, for the woman to code approach. They're talking about all these choosing signals. No, you don't have to do no choosing signals, Emma. If you like something, you like it, holla at him, you know, and you'll know what type of man he is just based on the way that he replies, you know, because a real man ain't gonna turn you down. No, now you might have it to where now, you got all these different guys out here on these sectors of YouTube now. They're gonna be like, well, yeah, if she come up to you a certain way, she acting like she too easy. She been around. I ain't never felt like that. You know what I'm saying? When a lady approaches me, That's because she recognizes that I'm a gentleman, you know, because it's the other way around. If I try to cold approach and she responds to me a certain way, I know what type of chick she is. I leave her alone. Okay, you got an attitude. Okay, my bad. So it's great when I can approach a certain gal and she likes my demeanor, or vice versa. If she see my demeanor and she just starts smiling at me, and then I'm gonna just walk up and start having that conversation. That conversation that ain't leading to a confrontation. But if it's leading to a confrontation, we know it's based on that sensation. Yeah, like some like some nice rose petals on the floor type of thing. Slow jam music and wine and candle lights. That type of confrontation. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Uh, yeah, the smoke signals for hire, right? Yeah, chicks love talking about them smoke signals. Yeah, I like to smoke me a couple of trees. I be smoking. That ain't cute. That ain't cute. You like that little teenager girl that want to be cool with all the varsity folks, so you smoke the cigarettes and the weed with them. Man, that stuff is not cute. I'm just saying, and that's my opinion. Chicks want to smoke. That's they smoke signal over here for hire. You know, uh, not sure if you're aware of that, but chicks now want to smoke the green like the dudes smoke the green because they feel okay. That's what dudes do. I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna tell them I'm a boss chick. I can smoke too. I can smoke like y'all. Like, whatever, whatever. You said, Emma. You said I fear the rejection. See, I hear you, but like I said, a real man won't reject you. A real man won't reject you. Heck, if you saw me in public, I wouldn't reject you. I'd be like, "Hey, what's good, Em? What's good? Chop it up with you." I'm just saying. You said Black Ken. I was cold approached by my first. She didn't shoot her shot. She just let me know she was interested. I take it from there. Boom. That's another good one. Yup, exactly. See, I call that the old approach. It's not the cold approach. It's not what some people call the hot approach. It's just the old approach where it's the old school approach. Yes, the old school approach where y'all just talking based on the situation. Whatever was going on in that environment, and y'all just happen to run into each other and y'all just spark a conversation. I don't care, even right now, with you having to wear a mask on your face. Heck, I might just still find a way to talk to you from a distance until, hey, it's socially acceptable to get closer to you. You see what I'm saying? That's a way you can still pull this off in COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain way you could do this where you don't feel like you're gonna get the cooties from somebody. Heck, you had to worry about cooties before COVID-19. COVID-19 ain't changed a thing. Hey, what's good, cool gent? Good to see you in the building. For sure. Yeah, we chopped it up, man. Yeah, I had to go to bed, man. I was working. But yeah, man, I stayed as long as I could. I didn't notice if you peeped the private chat, but yeah, I had to go to bed. But yeah, that was a good one that we had at your panel last night, given the day of this live stream. Uh let's see what everybody else been saying. Uh you like a you like a she like a leopard for hire, like a leopard or like a tiger. She got to see them. You check out a certain guy for a couple of days for hire? What you do? Check him out for a couple of days for a couple of weeks? I'm just messing with you. You ain't got to answer that question. I'm just messing with you. Up to you though. If you do answer that question, that'd be interesting. Uh, but yeah, let's keep going here. Uh, I did say I was going to mention this idea of the hooligan. Now, you know, before I go there, I want to talk about my other point because I did say something and I don't want to forget about it, right? See, here's the thing. The one of one, I told y'all, don't forget about one of one. Okay. Ladies, you're one of one in that man's life at that time. Not necessarily speaking on monogamy. See, people get the two misconstrued. This one of one idea in monogamy. No, it's just meaning that at that time, you are the conceptual thing. He's not entertaining more than one concept at a time because a man needs time to make sure a certain thing goes through a process. Like there's a processing of things, So at that time, what this also means is you are a certain way that no other woman is at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just literally saying this. It's not really speaking from a monogamous standpoint. It's just speaking from a standpoint that you are a different type of a concept. You're something totally different. So like the way I'm conversing around you, the things that I'm talking about is specific to you. This is what makes you very special. Don't mess this up. You are a one of one. Because remember, like when it comes to something being made, like from concept to prototype, there's usually only like one of those concepts or prototypes. And if they crash it, if it gets destroyed, guess what? They might not be able to rebuild that concept or prototype. It has to go through the process in order for it to survive and thrive later on to where it can reproduce, where it can produce. You see? So that's what makes you a one of one. At that particular moment, ladies, that's a very delicate stage of conceptualizing things about yourself in that man's life because you're going to be a certain way in that man's life that no other lady is going to be in his life. But you have to put out this, you got to like get rid of this idea of you thinking about him having someone else around him a certain way. No, like the way he's with you is the way that he's not with anybody else. You are totally a one of one. There's no one like you. Okay. Literally. So hopefully that helps, you know. Let me see. Going forward. Yep, exactly. For hire. The wild card. Exactly. Bingo. Or the ace of spade. Yeah. I like to say that more, I don't even like to use the term queen. I like to say ace, but that's me personally. Okay. Now, continuing on here, because we're what, an hour in, and I think I got a few more things to talk to y'all about, and I think it should wrap up this continuation of Conceptual Woman. Now, I also previously mentioned the word hooligan. Okay, I mentioned that in the previous live stream, and I said that I would eventually talk about it, but it ended up being a continuation. So we're definitely going to wrap that part up here. Yeah, we're going to wrap that part up here, if you will. So I previously mentioned hooligan. Now, there's two types of, well, you could branch guys into two different categories per se. You got gentlemen and you got the hooligan. Okay. The gentlemen represent the light and the hooligans represent the dark. Y'all figure that one out. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the hooligans are. So yes, like you got players, you got Macks, you got pimps, you got bachelors, you got, I guess you could even say married men, if you will, which all these guys could eventually be married men. So I can't really say that's separate. Like someone would say, what about a husband? No, all these guys will eventually be that at some point of time in their life or another. It just depends. So that part isn't really part of the fold, if you will. That's just part of what makes a man a gentleman at any given point. But yeah, you got, like I said, players, Macks, pimps, bachelors. They make up gentlemen. And then you got the hooligans, which are basically like gang bangers, drug dealers, kingpins. What else can I think of? Heck, even poachers. Poachers are part of the black market, right? So that all makes up the hooligans. Oh, and thieves. You cannot forget thieves. Okay. But see, these females that aren't women, they don't want a gentleman. They want a hooligan. And these females act like hooligans. Look at them all tatted up. Look at them like, because they think that's what a man is. They think a man is not a gentleman. They think a man is a hooligan. You know, we see this all the time. You know, you put a guy side by side. Okay, and now they say high value men. But see, gentlemen and high value men are not the same. Now I've already talked about that before in the previous live stream that I did with Venom G54, titled High Value Men Overrated. You know, we talked about that. Uh Look that up in my live stream playlist titled Live Streams featuring yours truly, and you'll see it there. But they these chicks act like hooligans. They tatted up like they all just got out of jail, like they just did it big, like they ready to murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. Like chicks be ready to fight all the time. I just saw a clip from IG not that long ago. Chicks just fighting out on the Las Vegas Strip, I think, and they stripping, you know, like they were trying to kill each other out there. And they like a man like that. But like I said, put a dude side by side, one with excuse me, put a dude side by side. You got the guy that got the suit on, and then you got the other guy that got on the Dickies, the Dickie outfit, the gangster outfit, the gang. That ain't even gangster. That's game banger, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And that's the other thing. Gangsters were gentlemen. They weren't hooligans. Game bangers were the hooligans. Me and Red Supreme talked about that before. Yeah, the gangsters were not the hooligans. They were the gentlemen. It's the game bangers that were the hooligans. See, people don't understand that. But yeah, these chicks don't want the dude with the suit on. They want the dude that looks like the game banger in the hood. But yet the dude with the suit on could be like a gangster from like the old times, the old mobsters, the mafia type of dude who just on some real cool gentleman stuff right now. You know, he that old Sicilian grandpa, you know what I'm saying, who will take a bat at a dude's face, who just try to spit on his granddaughter. You know, don't get the Sicilian grandfather mad. Where's he at, daughter? Where's he at? I deal with him. Bring him to me. I talk to him. I'll be nice. I'll be kind. Bring him to me. I talk to him. I'll talk to him. You know, you know, he'll come by and be cool with the granddaughter about the dude. He'll act like he'll be real kind to that dude, but he had a baseball bat for him. He got old Sicilian grandpa, like 75, 80 years old, still can whack somebody in the face with a baseball bat. Yeah, buddy, but he's still a gentleman, you know, but they don't understand that a man in a suit can be just as lethal as a guy out here trying to, you know, look like a game banger or something like that, or some drug dealer. And I'm not here really trying to like say nothing, you know what I'm saying, out of bounds or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, just spitting facts. Like a lot of females that aren't women in this day and age, they don't want a gentleman. Even if he has a certain Sicilian background, they want the hooligans. They want the rah-rah, the rowdy. But it shouldn't even take you having a certain Sicilian, Italian, mafioso background. You know, it ain't about you being tough. You'll have old Frank back in the days, he'll even tell you, he'd be like, you know, bada bing, bada boom, capiche. It's not about you being tough, okay? It's not about you being tough. It's just about you being a man. It's not about you being tough, okay? You know, he'll talk to you like that. He don't want you to be like him. He don't want you to live his life, you know? But see, the thing is, these females that aren't women, it's like, yeah, they don't even want to be women. They want to be a madam, a madame, instead of a lady. See, back in the day, madame was a term of endearment. Back in the day, madame or madam, however way you want to say it. Pardon me if I didn't say it correctly. But now, instead, it has been reverse engineered. Yes, but reverse engineered is not the same as manipulating. I'll talk about reverse injury. I'll talk about reverse engineering down the road, by the way, you know. But see, yeah, these chicks, they want to be madams. They don't want to be ladies. Did y'all know that Kim Kardashian's mother was a madame? Did y'all know that? Now you know. Let's see what everybody been saying in the chat. Whew, let's see. Ooh, y'all been Okay, y'all been hitting me up. Okay. Oh, I appreciate that for hire. I appreciate that. Let's see. Everybody's saying, you said their energy repels for sure. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people are like that, most definitely. Let's see what else. Yep, that's true. For hire, the man makes the clothes don't make him. And that even goes another way when you got a dude looking a certain way, like he's like a bad boy type, like he's really that hood kind of dude, but he wouldn't bust a grape. You got that too. You got a lot of guys that wanna look like they tough. Come on now, bro. We know what you really like though. We know what you really like. You said Emma. People have lost respect too. They wouldn't care for your feelings. Yeah, a lot of people, they're just lost, so hence that loss of respect too. People are just lost out here. They really are. Uh but yeah, the Trey Songz effect is real, and it has affected this idea of what a conceptual woman could be. What do I mean by the Trey Songz effect? Well, when you got dudes like, I'm not even trying to direct this at Trey Songz, but y'all know about Trey songs. Y'all know about Trey's songs. Y'all know about his songs. You know how he could turn you out, ladies. You know how he got a tongue that can do some things that you never thought his tongue could do, just by the way he talks. And he has a very interesting sexuality, to say the least. I'm not saying he's necessarily bisexual, but he's just free, you know. Um, but that makes him very much a guy that would, like, if you want to do some things, he'll let you know about things you never thought you could do. That Trey Songz effect. And a lot of chicks have been through this. And a lot of guys, you get around a lot of chicks that have been through these things. So it's hard to conceptualize her when she's probably had every hole explored. She's going to expect you to go further into those holes that have already been explored. She's going to want you to eat some groceries. Y'all know what the groceries are, right? Yes, to eat the booty. The Kevin Gates talk. You know, eat that booty. I'm gonna eat that booty. You heard me? I'm gonna eat that booty for real. You know, but it's still part of that Trey Songz effect because Trey Songz, he sung about it too. You know, but chicks get around dudes like that, especially at a young age. You'll get around a guy that's like twice your age, and he'll turn you out like that. So you get around a guy that could actually conceptualize you. He probably can't because you're so like damaged sexually. Like you think like, oh, I've seen it all, but you got turned out. Literally, you got turned out to where you are damaged. You're damaged. Okay. So it's like no hope there. The Trey Songz effect. That's basically what I mean by that. You know, you got turned out to where you can't even be turned around. You can't even be conceptualized. I talk so much about this twilight, right? But now y'all see that the twilight, the bar is set very high for twilight. And that wasn't even intentional. But that's to let y'all know that you got some chicks that have been turned out so much into the dark that they can't even come close to being a twilight. They can't even come close to having light in their life. They're so much into the dark and they want it. They want it. I had a chick, I remember when I was around her recently, all she kept talking about was, Ray, you know you want to eat this booty. You gonna eat that booty. You gonna eat this booty. I'm like, man, somebody must have ate her booty real good because she keep talking about me eating her booty. You got them lips. You know I want you to do with them nice lips you got, Ray. Gonna eat my booty. I'm like, I am not finna eat your booty. I'm not finna do that. Especially like, and I'm not even trying to say especially because there ain't no exception. But I'm just saying, she did not smell the best. I'm gonna just leave it at that, y'all. She did not smell the best. You talk about somebody eat your booty, girl. You out your mind. Get on with that. Hey, what's good information? What's good information, man? Show. Good to see you up in the building once again, fam. Uh, yeah, it's good. It's good to see you here. Yeah, I'm gonna check out a lot of your lives. I've checked out a few of them, but I'm gonna check out some more of them. You got some really good content over there at your channel. Good to see you back up in the building once again. You said, Black King. You said tough guys are a thing of the past. They all sweet now. See, and the thing is, man, they always been sweet. I'm gonna tell you what it's like, man. I'm gonna tell you what it's like. Check this out. Check this out. They like them, you know, them old sour patches. They salty and sour on the outside, but you lick them down, they sweet on the inside. I'm just saying. Woo! Let's keep going with this. Uh, yeah, yep. See, that's it. That's it for hire. They seen some things. Yeah. And so it's like, oh, hey, yeah, hey, anytime, fam. I appreciate that. Yeah, just go in my about section. I got my email there. If you have an email at your channel, I'll definitely look into that. We definitely can link up. I'm down for that. For sure, for sure. You said Black Ken, you said, isn't it better for you? Isn't it better if you get another girl to eat it? Seems like a good way to doji doggy. I don't know what you meant by that word, but yeah, that's if you're into that type of lifestyle, man. But I find out that even with all the gals that like that's still like a alternative lifestyle. Like a real gal that's like that's in her feminine, she don't want to be entertaining another woman in the bedroom with her like that. That's like, you know, gal on gal, some of them think about it no different than a guy on another guy. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that I don't know if that's what you meant, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah. You already know them sour patches, man. You already know them sour patches. Yeah, for sure. Follow that underworld talk, man. Shoot, that's why I'm so glad I'm out here in the cosmos, man. I don't even be down there dealing with them earthlings, them underground folk, man. I don't deal with them earthlings like that no more. But yeah, man, that Trey Songz effect is real, man. And I don't know if I'm explaining that in detail as much as I can, man, because it gets into very graphic information that I don't want to really get too heavy in. But all I can say is that some gals were turned out at a very young age. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I think y'all know where I'm going from. I think y'all know where I'm coming from with that. Okay, but the last thing, what? Hey, y'all, hip Emma on to Sour Patches. She don't know what Sour Patches are. She don't. Yeah. You must not be in the States. That is definitely in the States. The Sour Patches. Somebody hip her on to them Sour Patches, y'all. Now, last thing I'm gonna say is in regards to, you know, when you think about conceptualizing a woman, actually there's a few more things I could say. I'm gonna try to get all of these points out the way, you know, but one thing is, fellas, they're delightful at first. They're all delightful at first. This sort of applies to guys too, if one can say it goes both ways, but like I said, it goes both ways differently. Okay, now amongst the feminine, what I mean by they're delightful at first, like a lot of these gals, if you will, guys, they all gonna be nice when they first talk to you, but that doesn't mean she gonna stick around because there's gonna be something very potent about your light and the way that you come off that she won't be able to handle all that light. But that means that she's a vampire. Vampires can't stand the light. So there you go. She's an energy vampire. She just revealed her narcissism before you. Okay. She seemed like she could deal with you at first, but then you realize she can't really deal with you. You see? So don't let her delightfulness impress you. Over time, it should be how she can continue to stand in your light. That way you see that she's not vampiristic or narcissistic. See, part of this conceptualizing of a woman, what does this go back to? Now, there's a perspective of, when you get them pair of shoes, right? Like one of your favorite, let's say, I'm not into Jordans like that, but let's say you get some Jordans. You got them from Amazon and you unpack the box and you looking at them, right? You're like, dang, these are so dope. Ooh, I'm glad I got these, man. Dang, these mother so dope. You unpack it, man. But you like, I want to see what these look like outside, because you inside. The indoor light is not the same as the outdoor sun. The indoor light and the outdoor light are not the same. You want to see what them bad boys look like out in the sun. So see, that's what it's like with her, fellas. When she's around you, you're just meeting her indoors. When they talk about that first person, see, it's deeper than that. When you're meeting her, you just meeting her indoors. Now you got to take her outdoors into your light. Bring that light on her, shine that light on her. Now you could cast that light on her while she's still indoors. But she could just choose to stay inside because she like that sun is too bright. Like, I ain't ready to go outside right now. That's a side note. That's a side note. Let's see what everybody else saying. Let's check this out. You said, oh, you just confirming what I said, Black Ken. You said, that's what I meant. I've noticed they bring up the girl on girl before you do. They look at you crazy if you don't like it. You know what? They also bring up the girl on girl in regards to, like, let's say that you the type of guy that has more than one woman. She don't like you if you have more than one woman, but she'll be the type to be like, well, I can accept this if I can bring my girlfriend into the mix. If I can have my own girlfriend, then I can accept what you're saying, Black Ken. If I can bring my girlfriend, it's like, no, 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 no. That's not what we're talking about. See, whew, we ain't gonna even go there. We ain't gonna even go there. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, Black Ken. I get what you're saying. let's go here. Let's see what everybody else talking about. Let's go here. You said for hire. She comes back if she's matured, but sometimes too late because he moved on. Yeah, that could be. That could be at times, but usually she would have had to have done something very painful to him. Most guys are willing to take a woman back, believe it or not, because when men love, we love hard. And a lot of times we want to pick up where we left off. I had a car that I've recently had to come to terms with. I spent a lot of money on a new radiator hose. I got part of my exterior painted. I got a new roof liner for it. I got new brakes, new brake lines, new rotors, new calipers. But yet I still found out that I had a blown head gasket, and that was going to require me spending $6,000 for a new engine. How you think I felt? How do you think I felt? Man. But if there was a way I could still keep this car around, I still feel like it's worth it. So a lot of times a guy can get around a chick where, it's probably like not to his best of interest, but if he's put a lot of time into her and he's seen the progress with her, he's still willing to take her back because at least he knows he can pick up where he left off and maybe kind of right some wrongs on what he think he could have done better with her if he could bring her back around again, if she's willing. But yeah, a lot of times it could be too late, like with what you're saying, for hire, if she's really done something painful to him to where it is irreparable, and that's a very rare exception. But yeah, let's see. Right on Information Man Show. I appreciate that. Fam. You said also, Information Man Show. You said if they like girl on girl, that's a red flag up front. Exactly. Facts. Because that means she ain't gonna like that guy when he get into that room. And what if her girlfriend don't like that man when he gets into that room? Gals be having penis envy. Real talk. They don't want another man to jump in the room. Like, no, they was getting it on with each other. And then you show up, you all ready to go. You know, you got it up. No Viagra. But even if you use Viagra per se, you ready to go. And you or your girlfriend, they looking like, we got to wrestle with this thing too. Oh no, that ain't what we talked about. Oh, we did not talk about this. Oh yeah. Yeah, for hire. It's gonna get better. I appreciate that. You know. Thankfully I have more than one car, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely was like one of the things like, man, like, oh my goodness. Yep, exactly, information man show, exactly. Like all that work. You put in all that work. Man. That's why this whole idea of reciprocation is so important. A man gonna put in all this work. What is he getting back for that? What is his ROI, return of investment? You know, or just simply, as I just said, reciprocation. You know, so that's why I don't get with all these talks of hypergamy. Like, what is a man getting out of all this stuff? Like, what did Quavo get out of Saweetie dumping him after he, I guess, put out a lot of this and a lot of that? And I heard some people say that she was into the girl on girl or something. I don't know. But I think from what also I've heard, he just put out a lot of money on her and it wasn't enough. So basically, in a nutshell, regardless of the situation, she did not reciprocate, even though he put out. So it's like, what is a man getting out of this? So this idea of the conceptual woman, you're, hey, repurposing her. If she wasn't reciprocating, then she better be trying to reciprocate now, because that's how it's got to be now. I'm all about reciprocating. I'm big on a gal staying in touch. That's big. So if she's never been the type to stay in touch, well, you're going to learn today. You're going to have to stay in touch to keep me around, because I like that. That means that you're interested. That means that you like me. That means that you want to grow with me. Okay. Let's see what everybody else. Hey, what up, Wando? Good to see you back, fam. Good to see you back. You said Emma. Most of these females are too far gone. They've been exposed too much at an early age. Yeah, that Trey Songz type of guy. Man, woo! I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You said Information Man show. He didn't get anything out of it, just like Charlie Brown's Halloween bag. He got rocks. He got rocks. He got nothing. Facts. Facts. He got rocks. She got racks, his racks, and he got rocks back. Woo! Man. But see, to me, another part is conceptualization that I think really kind of could be sort of a derailment for the concept to become beyond the concept. A red flag to me is when she says that she reads a lot of books. Now, of course, some like, huh? But see, here's what I mean. I don't mind that she's learned things, okay? That's good for conversation, but it should be relatable. Like, am I not resonating to you, sweetie? Like, regardless of what you've read, regardless of your studies, okay? Am I not resonating to you to where there's kind of something about me that's superseding all that you've read and all that you've studied? If that's not the case, then she's not trying to be the feminine in my life. She's trying to be the masculine. She's trying to be the masculine in my life. Okay. I'm all the masculine that I need. I don't need an extra masculine. Okay. And this is not a disrespect to the rainbow people. I'm just saying I'm all the masculine that I need. I don't need another masculine. I need a feminine. Okay. So despite of what you've learned or what you've read, there's something about me that resonates to you to where, you know, basically what I'm saying is it's superseding a lot that you've learned and what you've read. So this is part of conceptualization, you know, because like I said in the previous live stream, you know, fellas, you'll get uh a feminine gender to basically come at you two ways. Either you're truly going to conceptualize her as a pure raw concept in a raw state. You know, you're going to get her in her raw state where she hasn't really been married before, or she hasn't had kids before, things like that. Or you're going to get her in a different state to where it's not really a conceptualized, like in the pure raw state, but it's more of a repurposing, you know, because she was previously conceptualized, but things didn't work out. She ended up a stillborn prototype. Probably didn't even progress the prototype in the previous relationship. But she's with you, and you kind of see how she is and how you got to repurpose her a little bit. Not trying to put in too much work, but it's got to work. We got to make this work, make it easy on me, and it's going to definitely be easy for you. Okay. You know, it does say in the scripture, we do have to bear each other's burdens, if you will, but it also says in the scripture, my yoke is easy and my burden is life. My burden is easy. My yoke is easy and my burden is light, if you will. So her burden should be bearable. Some of these feminine genders, some of them are unbearable, if you will. A lot of them are. You can't bear to go through conceptualizing her because, hey, proof in the pudding, proof in her pudding, if you will. Um, but yeah, if she's into the books and all that she's read and things like that, she ain't trying to learn nothing from you. She just wants to go back and forth as a debate versus a relate. She ain't trying to relate to you. She's just trying to debate you. There's nothing, we're not getting nowhere with this. There's no conceptualizing. There's no troubleshooting. There's no brainstorming. You're just storming. You're just a storm. Okay. You're not even Storm from X-Men. You're just a storm. Okay. So this basically means that she's more than willing to learn from someone else instead of learning from the man that's in her life or the man that could possibly be in her life. Basically, she tries to learn on her own. She ain't trying to learn nothing from you. So that's part of the conceptual stage. She should be trying to learn something from you. She should be learning from you. She should be learning. Okay. The masculine principles incorporating itself into her feminine dynamics. She should be learning something from you. If she's not, you know, it's a no-go. Period. It's a no-go. Let's see what everybody else been saying. Let's see. You said, Black Ken, my brothers have daughters. I'm hopeful but nervous about the outcomes. Oh yeah, man. If they don't even know half of the things that I'm talking about, or maybe some of the things you might know, oh yeah, I'd be nervous too. I'd be real nervous. You said, Polo, she ain't going to church too. Or maybe she is going to church. Think about what she's trying to learn at that church. See? Oh yeah, exactly. Don't deal with women like that. But given my female woman logic, don't deal with females like that. However, yes, maybe you shouldn't deal with some women like that either, just given that the way they became a woman is still not a complete woman. There are incomplete women out there that even you won't be able to complete, if you will. But see, it's this idea of what she thinks is completion. Like what a man sees as completion is different from what a woman sees as completion. But nevertheless, it is definitely incomplete. And it's not up to a man to make these things happen, you know, like, but that's another conversation for sure. But yeah, like Information Man Show said, don't deal with those like that. Don't deal with those type. No, do not, do not. Uh, Now, with all that said, I mean, this just gives y'all an idea that there's definitely a lot more that needs to be talked about from day one. On day one, actually, on day one. When you talking to her, it should not be a debate. It should be to where y'all can relate. It should be to where y'all can continue to generate, you know. Otherwise, it's going to dissipate. Always avoid the debates. Always. So, ladies, never debate. You know, you like him, he likes you. Work on these concepts. Do things with him that you haven't done with other men because you never had the chance to. Not because you just been, I've been saving this for the right man to show up. No, 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 no. Not like that. No, it's because you just haven't have a chance. You haven't had a chance to do this, to be this way, to conceptualize things. You never really had a chance to sit down and conceptualize with a man how to be the type of woman he needs in his life. Hopefully, this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made sense to, feel free to hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. If this is your first time coming to my channel and you like my content, whether it is my uploads or my live streams, there's definitely more in store. So make sure that you subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content at this channel. And also, in the description section of this live stream, you'll see my other channels that you can go to. Make sure that you subscribe to those other channels if you like those type of content that you might come across upon you clicking on the links. Also within the description section is if you want to tip yours truly, there's a PayPal. I got a link for that. No expectation, just appreciation. That's all. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you get all of my uploads in real time. And I definitely got some more in store in these next few days. I got a lot of uploads I'm about to put out there too. I've been kind of stalling for a few days because I've been moving to my new place. And but yeah, I definitely got a lot that I'm about to put out there for y'all. So be ready. Be ready. I've been peeping the scene out there, and I've been peeping like, man, there's definitely needs to be some fresh air out here in regards to content. And I've been putting it out there, you know, but I'm just saying now it seems like I have to put even more out there. But I want to make sure that it is of great quality like it normally is. And I hope that you were able to grab your popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and soda, even though I didn't mention that for this live stream. But hopefully, yeah, if you grabbed some and you enjoyed yourself, I hope you enjoyed yourself, you know? And looks like everybody's leaving out the building, leaving out the movie theater. I appreciate y'all stopping by, everybody, even those listening to this on the replay. And just know that it's only going to get better from here. It's only getting better from here, no matter what it's been looking like out there, y'all. And until next time, signing out. See y'all on the next one. Yes, see y'all on the next one. Much love.